Mikko, let's start with you with our Q&A. You said kanina, I remember markets recover after crisis, both geopolitical like war and even pandemic. Maganda yung chart na pinakita mo eh. But I think what the audience would like to understand, given your experience in global investing, where can they find an opportunity? What areas can they look at? What kind of upside are they looking at for investors now? I think, say, go ahead.
Okay, so for us on the team, we tend to like looking at the laggards or the markets were different. Pre-Ukraine, we liked Europe because it was the market which didn't have to actually keep in pace with the Fed. But you see how their wage pressures were lower than the US. Their inflationary numbers were lower than the US. So actually the ECB was at that time looking to not move in step with the Federal Reserve. Their valuations were also cheap. I think pre-Ukraine, they were trading at about a 30% PE discount to their 10-year average. That being said, Ukraine's adjusted a lot of the forecast, whether growth or earnings. But I think there's still one market, I think, which shares that similarity. It's actually the UK. I see in the Q&A, someone talked about MSA Acqui having a lot of tech and that not being a good inflation hedge.
Yeah.
What if I told you, Sir Marvin, that UK has zero technology on its index?
Oh, okay.
Its biggest factor exposure is towards value as well. So in terms of what should be in a portfolio, what a portfolio should be like, in a rising rate type of market, the UK has those possibilities. I think the thing is, the team who's investing should just assign a risk number to it, to account for the current risk, like Ukraine itself, and higher energy prices. But if you think after that, after adjusting for the military risk, after adjusting for the inflationary risk, and you still think it's interesting, then I think it's a place you can, we're happy investing in. We still see good upside, for the UK specifically. And I think if you look at year-to-date performance, it's diverged from Greater Europe. It's actually one of the better performing markets year-to-date.
So nakita ko nga, I think in your chart, you showed that the earnings per share growth in UK, more particularly, is 30%. And the next, I don't know if it's the next slide, and the P is only like 10. Tama ba yun?
Yes, sir. So it's really outsized. It's really outsized.
So is there a reason for that?
Well, that was also my caveat was when we sent you that was prior to some revisions, but it's still in the double digit. It's not 30, it's probably high teens now, but it's still attractive on a PE discount basis. So again, sometimes that's the challenge for us long term, for us investors, all of us. Sometimes the challenges come with opportunities. And if we're gonna stick with UK or other these types of markets longer term, again, I think the price should reflect the risk, but again, move past it to a degree.
Good. The second question that are in people's minds now are rising interest rates. Diba? Inflation, because of oil now, it's exacerbating it. And you presented earlier, US 7.9% inflation. So effectively, we will be expecting high interest rates. Is the Fed going to be more aggressive now? So my question is really, how should investors approach this rising interest rate environment?
So from a very, very first reaction move, I think outside of equities, you would tend to do a shorter duration on fixed income also. So I mean, you would buy credits who have some yield pickup over benchmark rates. That would be for the safe part of your portfolio. On the equity side, you would tend to move away from sectors or stocks whose valuations are really, really high, because the risk of them being sold from, it's much higher than the guys who aren't as highly valued. So for us, within the portfolios which are active, again, WEIF is a passive product. We do have active products. On our active mandates, we've trimmed exposure to growth and higher valued areas of the market. It's not as sexy, but potentially the drawdown risk is lower also.
So high PEs, stay away from high PEs, look for more value as you shown earlier, di ba? Para bang value is now outperforming or close to performing better than the growth.
For on a 1-year basis, so in 2021, it was the first time in a long time that value actually beat growth. There's still a big deficit on a 5-year annualized basis, but these things happen in cycles. So I think it was JP Morgan, they had a number. Within Asia Pac, the cycle is about 5 years. So if value is the new cycle, this could continue. So again, we're not calling it that yet, but I think it's something we should look out for. And the obvious thing is for the higher valued things to be sold down more.
Yeah. And I also like your suggestion that the fixed income, these are not just equity investors naman that are watching here. They also have some fixed income. Sinabi mo na pag may fixed income ka naman, short duration, meaning short maturities lang muna because of higher increasing interest rates will protect your portfolio. Tama?
Yes, sir.
Yes, good. So, meron din kayong money market, di ba? Meron din tayong Sun Life money market sa in fact, Angel, you have the largest money market fund in the industry, right?
Correct. That's correct, sir. No. So, if I may just share, I think the total AUM of our Peso Starter Fund, that's the name of the fund, but it's a money market fund, no, has already grown to 127 billion. No? So, yes, that's correct, sir. That's the biggest money market in the industry right now.
Wow. So para bang people are now, you're saying na parang they're looking more of a safe haven and then ano ba return ng money market nyo?
Right now, I think the yield to maturity is about 1.5%, sir.
Net po. Kesa negative.
Yes.
While you're waiting, di ba?
Yes, and actually for clients na nasa time deposit for the longest time, we really saw a shift from the time deposit products to the Peso money market or the Peso starter fund because of a competitive return nga compared to the low interest time deposits are offering right now.
Good, sige. I have a question regarding WEIF, yung World Equity Index Fund mo, Angel.
Yes, sir.
It is dollar, it's peso, di ba? We can buy it through peso, but the investment is dollars. Pero you have different countries there, Japan, syempre may yen, may China, may Europe, iba-ibang currencies yun . Can you explain how that thing works? Kasi peso kami bibili, tapos iba-ibang currencies na yun . How does that work?
Mikko, correct me if I'm wrong also, no? Because again, the WEIF is structured as a feeder fund. And the target fund is the Spider MSCI ACWI UCITS, which is being managed by State Street Global. And Mikko, again, correct me if I'm wrong, the target fund is denominated in US dollar.
Yes, that's right. That's
so there you go, Sir Marvin. No? So when we receive the investment from our investors, we get it in peso, and then we convert it into dollar to buy into the target fund, which is denominated in dollar.
So kami, our investors, pesos kami papasok. And then we will send it to you in pesos. Kayo, convert nyo na into dollars. Tapos padadala nyo na sa Santos, sa Spider, where's that? State Street
Global.
And then State Global, sila na yung mag-iba-ibang currencies.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, meron din tong effect sa foreign exchange. Right now, foreign exchange, tinatamaan tayo ngayon, di ba? 50 something na yung foreign exchange natin to the peso. Paano yung returns nun? So, may return yung target fund, tapos meron pang foreign exchange. Kami, kasi peso kami. How does that work?
Yes, Sir Marvin. No? So, the WEIF or the foreign exchange of WEIF is unhedged. No? So, meaning, yung investors natin are somehow exposed to foreign currency risk or foreign currency fluctuation. And you're correct, sir, no? In time or in environment where peso is depreciating, pwedeng kumita si client from the return of the fund, also from the depreciation of peso. But that will also apply on the flip side naman, sir. No? If let's say peso is appreciating, then it could somehow eat up your gains from the target fund. Because again, the foreign exchange is not hedged.
Yung pinakita mo kaninang returns dun sa WEIF, is that in pesos or is that in dollars? Is that year on year ba? Naalala ko mga 8% ba yun?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir, that's already in pesos, no?
Okay.
So,
so meron ka ng gain nung target fund tapos gain pa nung foreign exchange.
Yes, that's correct, sir. So, in fact, Sir Marvin, dun sa year to date, I showed nga it's about -8, no? If we take out the forex rate or the conversion, baka mas malalim pa than 8% yung negative nung fund on a year-to-date basis. So again, in scenarios na depreciating yung peso, it somehow provide additional gain to the fund.
Good. So, sinabi nga ni Mikko kanina, di ba? Para bang umabot ng 13 to 14% down yung ACWI. Pero yung WEIF natin is 8 lang. So,
Negative
parang yun yung parang nagiging protection mo. Now, ano ba ang tingin natin, Mikko? Tanongin na kita. Ano ba ang foreign exchange forecast ng Sun Life? Meron ba tayong expectation of more weakness in the peso?
For 2022, Sun Life's view is a range of 51 to 53.
So parang may depreciation pa ng konti.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe before, if we could backtrack a little bit, if clients are curious how we convert it, we take the peso inflows, we actually deal it at fixing rate, no? Plus a marginal friction cost with our counterparty. So we try to get you better rates than if you would convert it yourself and via retail volume, no? So hopefully the closer you are to fixing, the closer you are to the main price, no? The real doable price.
Ayun, yun ang advantage. So even with my small amount, syempre normally when you deal with a bank, ang ganda rin yung foreign exchange, medyo may patong din sila diyan, di ba? If you do it individually. So ang ginagawa nyo, because we put it together in a fund, you get preferential foreign exchange rates.
Yes.
Para bang close to the BAP rate ba yun?
Yes, the BAP fixing, yes.
Okay. So may benefit din sa foreign exchange. Sige. Now, we have a lot of questions from our audience, advanced questions, and we group them together. Tanong ni Valerie, what industries are resilient from the Ukraine-Russia conflict? Is in relation to that, which global funds are recommended?
Okay, so thanks Valerie for the question. No? I think it's easier to try to answer this if we talk about what the conflict is creating, no? Which is higher inflation driven by higher energy. So what tends to do well with that scenario, no? Instead of talking about the war specifically? Top of mind, energy companies are the outright winner here because the revenues are energy-based. So that's one thing. Staples would be one thing to consider as well. When people want to hold back in terms of those luxury spending, you can't really scrimp on your basic necessities. The challenge here is to pick which staple company to play it through. No, you could do it through the conglo or you could do it through the subsidiary. But often, if you're targeting exposure, I think staples would be the better way to go about it. REITs is something interesting as well. So if you think about it, higher rates, right? It decreases the value of your equity values. But what if you have an asset, a real asset, like property, whose prices move up, and if you have rental yield on that, those things adjust, especially when contracts are shorter. I guess to summarize, energy, staples, and then REITs, which hold real assets, no, not mortgage REITs.
So yeah, REITs, that's interesting, ha? Sige. Ito naman, bilisan na lang natin. We have a lot more. Mikko, if you can just try to shorten the answers. But quickly lang. Ito, yung tanong ni Jesus. What would be your recommendation if the war escalates further to NATO. In other words, si Zelensky pumunta na sa NATO or NATO intervenes. Paano kaya?
I think similar to what we have done in the portfolios now, our tracking error or the risk we're taking versus the benchmark, it's a lot lower than it was maybe 5 years ago. So manage the risks you're taking, but stay invested in terms of your asset allocation.
Yes, yeah. Okay, good. Sige. Stay invested and basta manage the risk. Okay, next. Let's go have global outlook. What tanong ni Jaime, what is your fearless forecast for the S&P 500 for the end of the year? Pwede ba 'yon? Meron ka bang ano diyan? May forecast ka ba diyan, Mikko?
Yeah, so I think we can think about it. There's a simple way to answer it, and there's a complicated way. But in the context of this, think about the S&P's 10-year PE. Then think about its 5-year PE. What's the relevant one for you, no? You would have biases depending on the investor. Just take the midpoint between the two. If you take the midpoint, I think the PE for that is about 21.7 times.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a index level of about 4.8 thereabouts, so 4.880.
8. Where saan na ba ngayon? Asa na ba ngayon S&P?
4.411, so about 10%, no?
Yeah, okay.
Very, very quick, no? So I guess you have to pick. Are you a 10-year PE team or are you a 5-year PE team, no? So, but in the middle, 4.488 is more or less where it is.
Okay. Sige. Si Abigail, global political crisis happening that is affecting the market. What's the recovery timeline we can look at now? Maybe yung pinakita mong averages, di ba?
Yeah, so again, in real terms, no? MSCI ACWI is up 1.4% from Feb 23 before the conflict started. S&P is up 4.4% since the conflict started, no? So the stats we showed earlier seem to be telling an accurate picture of the development, no? So we're actually at the levels markets were pre-conflict already. I guess it's more
pre-conflict na. So inuunahan na nila. Para bang the market's already anticipating na mare-resolve na.
To a degree, sir.
Parang ganun, ano? Sige.
So I guess what the market needs to contend with is the Fed policy. That's what is really driving a lot of the negative returns pa. So that's something we have to digest pa.
Yeah. Sige. Next oil prices and inflation by OFI. I have recently invested in Sun Life US dollar denominated VUL. What's the impact of rising oil prices in my investment? Angel.
Sige, sir. So, unfortunately, no, Sir Marvin, the WEIF is not available as an underlying fund of Sun Life's VUL products.
Okay.
This fund is only offered by SLAMC as a mutual fund. So, hindi siya kasama din sa choices for underlying of our VUL products.
So, at least hindi ka tatamaan dyan. Yan. Okay. Sige. Next. Let's look at the others. Ito, Sun Life WEIF. Siguro sa'yo na rin to, Angel. Please compare Sun Life's offer with the others who are offering the same.
Okay. So, yes, I think there are a lot of global funds available now in the industry, whether it's mutual fund or UITF. But I guess what WEIF sets aside, siguro 3 things that I can share this afternoon. First is WEIF is a pure global equity fund. So meaning it doesn't have any other asset class aside from equities. Second is, I believe there are a lot of funds which are sector-centric or region-centric. So unlike those funds, si WEIF is not focused on a certain sector, nor it is focused on a certain region. So again, it is widely diversified across more than 2,400 companies that represents different countries and different sectors, and also covers both developed markets and emerging markets. And siguro the third difference is WEIF is denominated again it is denominated in Philippine pesos. So there are a lot of global funds right now in the UITF space and the mutual fund space, but there are only a few that are denominated in Philippine pesos, and WEIF is one of them.
Good. So, thank you. And in our platform, Maria, just to let you know, we have 2 global funds already, which is this one, and we have another one, we call it Global GMIF. They call it Global Multi-Asset fund. It's a income paying naman siya. Meron siyang dividends. Ito wala tong dividend but it's pure equity, di ba? Mas malaking capital growth. The other fund that we have in our platform is the global multi-asset. It pays dividend but it has fixed income. So, ganun. So ito si Sun Life WEIF talagang representative of the equity global market. Ganon, di ba?
Correct, sir. Both both developed and emerging markets.
Yeah. Next, where to invest? What indices should I put my money now? By Aris. Nasagot mo to, Mikko, no? UK.
So we're over at UK, we're over at Japan, neutral US.
Okay. Sige, next. Japan. Strategy. Is it better to invest in global fund instead of investing only in the S&P in the long run? Asked by Darwin. Mikko?
This is a good question. No? So statistically, there's an index offshore. It's MSCI ACWI ex-US. It's lagged so the equivalent version without the US has lagged the version with the US. No, so I would say you can have both. Maybe you can just add US only to an existing ACWI product to ramp up your risk. No, but then again, it's taking a view on one country. But it's proven correct. But I think in terms of just spreading the risk, there's a way to reallocate to different markets, different asset classes. No, if you just want to increase the yield, per se.
Yeah, to diversify is the best. Di ba? Sige. Next portfolio man. Shall I sell my current equities then buy again once the crisis in Ukraine has ended? Asked by Larissa. Mikko, parang nag-recover na yata yung market.
Yeah, so I think it's too late to sell now. We're back where we were Feb 23. Hopefully, well, knock on wood, hopefully it doesn't, we don't see a double dip, but we're back where we were.
Okay. Next, meron pa ba tayong group questions? Ayon, on global products, will there be other global investment product options this year? This year, baka meron kang may kakwento, Angel, with perhaps similar initial investment requirement. Smaller. Kasi 50,000 yung minimum mo, no?
Yes, for this fund, the minimum initial investment is 50,000 pesos and the minimum additional investment is 10,000 pesos. So actually, Sir Marvin, we get this question quite often, no? So medyo marami na ring clients who are asking us if we will be lowering the minimums. I do not have the answer right now, but maybe I can just tell our listeners, our clients that SLAMC has a dedicated products team, no, who continuously studies client demands and align it to SLAMC's offering. So I cannot say that there will be new option or there will be no new product option, but I guess what I can say is that we are always looking, no, at improving our products for our clients.
Ayaw mo pang sabihin. Meron akong little bird sa SEC. Parang may nakita akong application. Pero abangan nyo na. I think
yes. If there will be any change, Sir Marvin, ikaw ang unang-una naming sasabihan so that our audience will also know, no, firsthand from you.
And hopefully, mas mababa na. Definitely, I think the SEC will favor that better. Next, meron pa ba tayo? Meron pa ba tayong group questions? Ladies? Meron pa ba? Sige. I think we should go now to the live questions from Johnny Bell. What's the max allocation percentage for global funds for a high risk profile investor? Max allocation percentage for global funds. You want to try that, Mikko?
So I had a slide earlier about volatility, no? So if it's just really about risk, MSCI ACWI or global equities, it's about 50% less volatile than Asia ex Japan equities. So theoretically, you could actually increase your equity allocation by buying something which has a lower intrinsic volatility, no? So I don't, to answer it, you can actually add more equities if you're buying something less volatile, which global equities are, no? Statistically.
Yeah. I think as a start, you may want to do 10%. You want to try it out muna, di ba? And then if you're happy with it, increase it to 20 as of your equity portfolio. Para bang mag-diversify, di ba? Next question from the audience. Let's get some questions pa. From Jared, what could be the advantage and disadvantage of investing in WEIF rather than investing directly in the Spider Target Fund of WEIF, aside from accessibility to Peso investors? Oh, tough question. Angel, can they go straight but to Spider?
That actually, maybe Mikko can help me with that. No, if they can go directly, because from what I know, you really have to have a broker, no, who can access these funds globally, no, and also the minimum investment, I must say, because again, the minimum investment for this fund is just 50,000 pesos, no, and if you decide to go directly to the target fund of WEIF, then it could probably require you more to start investing.
Yeah. So you have to have a foreign brokerage account, di ba?
Yes, sir.
You might, and then, yeah.
Because right now in the Philippines, I don't think there is a broker that can offer the target fund of
Yeah,
WEIF.
and you have to have a dollar account, and then you have to credit their, medyo complicated din, ano?
Medyo
Pero-
hassle din for the investors,
Yeah,
Marvin.
easily now, Peso investors better. Next, let's have meron pa ba? From Valerie, hi. Tinatanong si Dino. Thank you for the advice. I think si Dino is in the
Dino
chat.
is part of the panelist natin, Sir Marvin. He's answering some of the questions in the Q&A pod.
So if you were interested in just starting the WEIF now, is it also better to get into when Peso is depreciated? Specific further depreciate value. Ano to? Paano to? Thank you for the, so if you're interested in just starting into it when the Peso is depreciated. Ano yun? Pag na-depreciate na yung Peso, is it better to get into it? Parang hindi yata. Anong sagot mo dyan?
Well, actually, better, sir, kung mag-regular investing na lang din yung client, no? Because we really cannot time the market and we cannot time when the peso dollar will fluctuate to their advantage.
Yeah, it's hard. If you're a starter, no, if I may add, no, if you're just starting, it's hard to time it, di ba? It's very difficult to time the market. Time in the market is more important, and then you just do peso cost averaging as Angel said. Nag-uumpisa ka pa naman, Valerie, and then just di ba? Just do it regularly. You can do that in COL. You can automatically invest, EIP, you call it, and then you can do EIP for WEIF. Automatic pa yun. Sige, let's get one more last. Lumalampas na tayo sa ating time. Sige, let's get one more. How is this fund taxed? With the invested equity charge in the country where it was invested and in our local tax policies? From Gunnar. Paano to? Paano yung taxation niya?
So, for this one, Sir Marvin, since any gains from mutual fund is not taxable, no, under our tax code, no. So whatever you gain from the fund, hindi ka na matatax doon. You will the returns that I've shown a while ago, that's already net of all fees, and that is not taxable if you redeem your gains from mutual fund.
Okay. Good. Sige. May tanong dito sa chat box. If you want to invest in this product, how do we do it with COL Financial? Siyempre, pwede, di ba? Bukas na yon. Sino ba nagtanong nun? Ethelreda de Guzman. Yeah. You can buy it through COL Fund Source. Look at the mutual fund tab. Hanapin mo lang doon yung Sun Life World Equity Index Fund. And then you can already buy it online. Anytime, anywhere. Di ba? Sige. Okay. Meron pa ba? Meron pa bang questions? May pahabol. So, ito, look at this. From Jerome Go. Is there a difference if I invest directly with Sun Life versus through COL? Will there be an additional commission or fees if I invest through COL? Sa COL, walang commission. So if they go straight to Sun Life, paano?
Sige sir, let me answer that. No. So since the COL is more of a DIY type of investing, no, the clients are not charged of any sales load, of any entry fee or exit fee. So if you invest through COL platform, you will not be charged of any front-end load or sales charge. Lahat ng pera na i-invest mo will be invested in the fund that you've chosen. So that's one beauty of utilizing the COL Fund Source, no, when investing in Sun Life funds.
Talaga? Pwede ka talaga maging marketing namin. Kukunin na kita.
Sir, wag, baka andito yung boss ko.
Galing. Hindi. That's the beauty. Sinabi mo, it's the beauty of COL Fund Source. Tinanggal na namin yung agents commission.
Yes.
Nagagalit yung ibang agents. Pero
Sige sir, but to no, on the flip side of that, of course it's a DIY kasi type of investing. So you really don't get, the advice of a licensed advisor, and so that's the trade-off naman. So just to protect also our Sun Life agents who are probably...
Hindi naman. Sa DIY, you do it yourself, di ba? Online. So you take control, you empower, you can do it mabilis lang. Parang travel agency, di ba? Wala kang travel agent fee if you do it yourself. Ganun lang naman yun, di ba? So you want an agent to talk to, bayad ka ng agent fee. You want to talk to, di ba? Ganun lang. So, balance lang. Alright, sige. Thank you very much. Lumampas na tayo sa ating oras. Maybe a last few words from Mikko, given what's happening and what do you think for our audience?
Maybe for me, just think about your investment objectives. You had them before the year started, so hopefully they were the really things which drove you to take these positions. Think about those when markets are challenging.
Good. Angel.
So first of all, thank you so much, Sir Marvin, and thank you for our listeners this afternoon. No, siguro my parting message to our listeners is, I think Mikko has shared some reasons why we should consider investing offshore now. And I hope our listeners, our clients, will take advantage of these developments in the mutual fund space, wherein you can access global markets through mutual funds and by investing in Philippine Peso. So again, Sir Marvin, I just want to promote that we will be having a promo for those who will invest in WEIF. Starting on Monday until April 30, they will be given a chance to win 3,000 worth of investment credits. Yeah. So again, this fund is available through Fund Source. So hopefully you could visit the COL platform to know about the product.
Galing. Sige, thank you very much, Angel. So mag-i-invest ka na, meron pang chance to win. Chance lang Hindi
chance lang, sir. We will be drawing 5 investment certificates worth 3,000 pesos each.
Pero that certificate will go to another Sun Life fund.
Yes.
3,000 yung minimum ng WEIF Diba?
Well, the other funds naman, sir, 1,000 lang yung additional minimum, or even the initial minimum is just 1,000 pesos. So they can use that investment credits to invest in other Sun Life funds through COL pa din.
Yan, bili mo na ng Sun Life Equity Index Fund, yung local, di ba? So meron ka ng World Equity, meron ka pang local index fund din. So galing. Alright, sige. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Sir Marvin.
Thank you, Angel, for that interesting discussion. Allow me to conclude this conversation by showing you this chart. May papakita rin ako sa inyong chart. Now, that is the MSCI ACWI annual returns historically. Makita nyo to, at least that is versus the Philippine Stock Exchange Index. The darker blue is the ACWI, the MSCI All Country World Index. And then the lighter blue is the Philippine Stock Exchange. Makita nyo, if you click again, makikita nyo for the past 4 years, more particularly, nag-outperform talaga tong MSCI World. Habang yung Philippine Index natin medyo mababa. So if you diversified your portfolio for the past 4 years, di ba? It looks like it really made sense, and definitely you're able to manage your risk by just diversifying. Now, in the future, the question is this for you? Diba? That's the big question. Is this for you, for as an investor? Is global investment for you? And to answer that question, answer this question. No? If you are a long-term investor seeking high potential returns by investing in a diversified global equity exposure in the world, largest companies, no? Pinakita kanina. And you are comfortable with the risk, of course, of inherent in stock market investing. This fund, Sun Life WEIF, would be ideal for you, di ba? So, proper diversification is really key. Before, we cannot access this investment, di ba? You would need large amounts. You have to be a private client. You need foreign exchange arrangement. Kailangan may dollars ka pa. Now, you can easily access this in our platform in COL Fund Source in pesos, di ba? Hindi ka na kailangan bumili ng dollars. You don't have to worry about the dollars. And when you sell it, they'll sell it and then you get in pesos then. So, di ba? Tapos pagka nag-weekend pa yung peso natin, may added bonus ka pa doon. And let me emphasize also kanina, there are no commissions. Walang agent's fee. All the mutual funds that you buy in COL Fund Source, walang agent fee. Tinanggal na namin yun so that you can have it free of that commission. Diba? So that's what we're trying to do for retail investors. And you can access it anytime, anywhere. And the investment strategy, which I suggest is more prudent, is to do a peso cost averaging. You can even program that in COL. We have that in the EIP, Easy Investment Program. You can program it so that automatically, you don't have to think about it. Every month, bumibili na siya ng fund na yan. So, we know that wars do not really last, di ba? Bear markets do not really last. They don't last long. And you showed the presentation kanina, over the long term, it recovers. So, this is the opportunity we're actually looking for, this down market. So start investing now and build your portfolio. Do it regularly, especially during these times when the market is weak. And in the long run, you will be rewarded. So best time to buy is when the market is down. Well, okay. So there you have it. I hope we have given you some insights about this opportunity, this good product we have in the platform. We will have new funds again this coming months, but hintayin nyo lang yun. We're working on it. Magdadagdag pa tayo ng mas maraming funds and then we will tell you what it's all about. Marami pa rin, puro mga global din. So, and then we will share this webinar and we will send you research via email. So again, just a reminder, we want to remind everyone that having this conversation is not really an endorsement or a recommendation of a particular investment. This is being conducted to have a better understanding of available opportunities and help you come up with a more informed investment decision. So for future COL Conversations, register through the bit.ly COL Conversations events so you can be part of our invite list automatically. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I'm Marvin Fausto. Have a good weekend and see you in our next conversation.